Welcome back to the sixth and final video in the series. And now we look at the antidote to the anti-Aristotelians and their six-point pattern. We see capitalism as the political system of reason, not the arbitrary. It was no accident that the gradual development of capitalist institutions in Western Europe that began in the late Middle Ages paralleled the growing influence of pro-secular, pro-reason trends in philosophy and religion, which have been set in motion by the reintroduction into the Western world of the writings of Aristotle. And also it tells scientists and inventors that answers exist and can be found if only they will keep on looking for them. Without this conviction, science and technology could not be pursued. There could be no quest for answers if people were not first convinced that answers can be found. Capitalism is based upon reason, an attribute of the consciousness of the individual. The Enlightenment glorification and liberation of every man's mind. In the 18th and 19th centuries, such common men as James Watt, Edward Jenner, George Stephenson, Samuel Morse, Cyrus McCormick, Thomas Edison, and others would prove quite uncommon as innovative thinkers who created the steam engine, the smallpox vaccine, the locomotive, the telegraph, the reaper, and the electric lighting system, respectively. He and she did build that. Capitalism is based upon reason, a system of voluntary trade of values. We who live by values, not by loot, are traders, both in matter and in spirit. A trader is a man who earns what he gets and does not give or take the undeserved. The mystic parasites who have, throughout the ages, reviled the traders and held them in contempt, while honoring the beggars and the looters, have known the secret motive of their sneers. A trader is an entity they dread, a man of justice. Capitalism is based upon reason, a political system of individual and property rights, not force. In their logically consistent form, these ideas led to a view of the individual as both supremely valuable and as an end in himself, and as fully competent to run his own life, in order to leave free will to pursue his own happiness. This, of course, was the foundation of the freedom of capitalism. Capitalism is based upon reason, a system for the prosperity of human beings living on Earth. Prior to the advent of the industrial capitalism, roughly in the 1760s, the lot of the English working class was generally miserable. Utter destitution was rampant, literal starvation not uncommon, and the country was run over with paupers. And the length of life in the advanced, i.e. industrial countries, jumped from less than 30 years of age to perhaps 75 years. In closing, I ask the following questions again. Should you care about the warning signs of the six-point pattern of the anti-Aristotelians? For your life and happiness as a sovereign individual, I hope I have demonstrated that. And shouldn't you know better by now? Some of us do. More of us need to. We have seen the anti-reason eras of the anti-Aristotelians, and we have seen partial, limited eras of reason brought by the Aristotelians. But the Aristotelians, including Aristotle himself, have hampered their own efforts through contradictory, irrational ideas mixed in with the rational. This inconsistency has left openings, as we have seen, for the anti-Aristotelians even to this day. And for the record, there are no Aristotelians on the political scene today, not even close. But after 2,500 years, we now should know better. Thanks to philosopher novelist Ayn Rand, we do now know better. We know that while reason is not automatic and that it takes effort, it is the faculty for existential and psychological survival, that is human survival. That reason provides the opportunity for life, prosperity, happiness, and the rights of the individual. That reason is the means for individuals to associate with their fellow man through persuasion and voluntary trade of values, not force. And we know that the anti-reason that is, the irrationality of the mystics and the skeptics, opens the door to genocide, poverty, disease, and misery. No more excuses. Mankind now has the philosophical tools and the historical context to provide for a rational world and to avoid the disasters and tragedies of the past. But it's a matter of choice. Every individual has a choice to think or not. Are you with the Aristotelians, or are you with the anti-Aristotelians? Or are you in some nebulous, evasive, emotionalist in-between state? The last two choices will bring only more destruction of your life and your values. And finally, based upon the evidence of their centuries of behavior, let us distinguish between the motivation of the Aristotelians, which is love, love of life, happiness, and values, and the motivation of the anti-Aristotelians, which is fear, as we have seen. I ask a final question. Are you motivated by love or motivated by fear? From John Galt's speech in Ayn Rand's novel, Atlas Shrugged. Quote, you, meaning the anti-Aristotelians, seek escape from pain. We, the Aristotelians, seek the achievement of happiness. You exist for the sake of avoiding punishment. We exist for the sake of earning rewards. Threats will not make us function. Fear is not our incentive. It is not death that we wish to avoid, but life that we wish to live. You, who have lost the concept of the difference, you claim that fear and joy are incentives of equal power, and secretly add that fear is the more practical. You do not wish to live, and only fear of death still holds you to the existence which you have damned. It is time to end the cult of the anti-Aristotelians, no matter what variant they are. It is our, that is the Aristotelians' universe, not theirs. As we have seen, the mystics of spirit tell us that some alleged great consciousness creates, controls, and is the universe, and that we don't need to know anything else. And we've seen that the mystics of muscle are self-identified know-nothings. Be an Aristotelian. Be motivated by love, not by fear. Why? For a better future for your life, your happiness, your values, your rights. Thank you, and good premises.